So let me guess, you're frustrated, maybe even ready to quit trading because no matter how much effort you put, you're still losing money. You've tried strategy after strategy and jumping from tutorials, but nothing seems to work. After over a decade in the markets and helping traders all over the world to finally break through and be profitable, I've noticed 5 deadly mistakes they keep making before coming to me for help. And in this video, I'm going to reveal what those are so you can finally fix them and stop losing money. My name is Kieran and I'm a professional trader specializing in commodities, cryptocurrencies, forex and indices. And trading is my passion, and it's enabled me to leave my career as a doctor and really live life on my own terms. And now I also help struggling traders to be profitable. So busy everyday people, as well as busy professionals and entrepreneurs. So let me ask you a question. What does FOCUS stand for? Well, FOCUS stands for follow one course until successful. And by the way, I'm copywriting that. See, a lot of people jump from one business model to the next. And even in trading, there's a natural progression. Initially, you are a losing trader and then get to break even. And then finally, you get to the exponential growth phase. But just before that curve up, people just quit and move to the next business model. Any business model can work. If it's worked for someone else, it can work for you. For example, in my own situation before trading, I actually did e-commerce. And yeah, I had some success. I made a couple thousand a month, but I didn't have any passion for it. And at the time, there were people making millions and were substantially more successful than me. But can I really say that e-commerce was a scam? No, I just can't. I didn't reach that level. Be brutally honest with yourself. Are you the type of person that finishes what they start? For example, do you go on a diet and then quit? So around 5 years ago, before I saw any real breakthrough in trading, I was still unprofitable and wasn't sure whether to continue forwards because I hit a major plateau. And it's not like as if I knew any traders. No, it's not like as if my dad was a hedge fund manager or something. No. In fact, I didn't even have a dad pretty much growing up. And so at this point also, I just finished a major set of exams for my training to be a doctor and had booked travel plans to go back home. But just as I was about to leave, I saw an advert for a trading conference nearby. And so I thought, okay, I mean, what's the harm in going and see what it's all about? And so I went, and sat next to me in the conference was a man, and his name was Roman. He had a beard and glasses. And I asked him, can this trading work? Like, is it real or is it just a scam? And he explained to me how he had a family and kids and how initially he learned trading in a bank. And also how trading had actually enabled him to have free time and spend time with his family. And please bear in mind, this was a rational, stable 40-year-old man. Not one of those over-the-top, cringe-worthy 20-year-old trading influencers or the over-the-top crypto moon boys. No, this was a rational, stable man. And he explained to me how he worked in a bank. He explained how banks and institutions don't do retail methods of trading and how the style of trading that retail do is actually what banks and all target, especially things like liquidity and stop loss hunts. And then I said, if you don't mind me asking, how much are you making in trading? And then he said, I'm making hundreds of thousands. And he even showed me some of his trading withdrawals from his phone in a very nonchalant way. In fact, I still remember having a look at his phone and I was like, because my eyes had like literally popped out of the skull. And I literally saw a withdrawal for like $400,000. I think he was just so relaxed and casual about it. And I think for me, that interaction as a whole really gave me some hope that it was possible. I also then asked that same person, Roman, listen, I've got nothing useful to offer you. However, if I could just get 1 hour of your time where I could just understand a little bit more in detail what we talked about, I would be so grateful. Initially, he looked at me amused. And then he said, fine. And then I also said, look, I'll even buy you lunch and coffee as well. And I remember the night before that meeting, I was so excited. I even made notes in preparation for the meeting. So on the day of the meeting, I went to where he lived. And this was quite an affluent area near the town that I was in. So as promised, I bought him coffee and lunch. And he came with a suitcase. It looked quite heavy actually. And he brought out his laptop. He opened it up and he was using this trading platform. He said it was MT4, which many people use today for trading. And it actually made this funny sound as he opened it up. And he explained to me about lot sizing, about liquidity, all these bottlenecks I'd actually experienced in my trading journey at that point. And he eventually said, listen, you need to change your style of trading. These subjective methods like trend lines, RSI, MACD, they don't work. They're very subjective, and that's not how the banks and institutions and professionals trade. And I thought, okay, fine, I'll change my methods. And the whole experience made me feel so motivated and inspired. I actually even spoke to a friend about this experience. I rang her up. And this friend, she is in her 40s at that point, and she'd tried trading for many years but failed. She'd tried some courses, but no breakthrough success. And I was so excited, I explained everything in detail to her. And she was like, well, good for you. And I was in this elevated state from meeting Roman. And then I went back down to earth. I was deflated because she couldn't share my enthusiasm. Many people are heartbroken by the failures in trading. And a lot of people just give up trading because they just don't know the right things. They're around the wrong people. They've not actually seen what success looks like. So if a business model has worked for someone else, it can work for you. In trading, there are winners and there are losers. And the top 1% to 2% of traders usually make most of the money. And the bottom 99% usually are break even or are unprofitable. But often those people can be very heartbroken by their failures. And it's something that I see all the time. Actually, some of my clients that have come to me are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and they've tried various things and have become often cynical and heartbroken. After being taught by me, they eventually learned that they were simply doing the wrong thing. But you have to realize that trading is a business. If you follow the systems, follow the strategy, money should be a natural byproduct. It shouldn't be chased. Delayed gratification is just so underrated because we live in a world of instant gratification, instant Netflix, instant microavailable meals. And the problem is this is very toxic when learning any skill, especially trading. Many traders are just winging it with no clear system or strategy. In fact, a couple of days ago, I just hopped off a call with a man, and he's in his 50s and near retirement, and he's a business owner. And he tried trading for many years. He was using things like trend lines, very subjective methods of trading, and he had no real confidence. And he was honestly on the verge of just giving up trading altogether. And so I asked him, do you actually have a clear strategy, a clear system, a clear method of putting the stop loss, entry, take profit? And then he said to me, no, I just have a look and I read the news, just kind of figure it out. In trading, you need a system with a predefined entry, a stop loss, and a take profit. It's not just about making money. If you can't actually systemize and replicate the strategy, then you are just gambling. In trading, if you are failing to plan, you're planning to fail. And so then I asked this man, so are you profitable or not? And then he said, my win rate is 60%. The problem is every time I'm winning, my wins are small. And every time I'm losing, my losses are much bigger, essentially eroding the wins. And this leads me on to the second deadly mistake, which is men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Win rate alone is just a vanity metric. And so in this case of this gentleman, he had no clear system and he was just snatching small profits, which was eroded by much bigger losses. And so then I also asked this gentleman, how much are you risking per trade? And he said, I'm risking mostly 10% of my account for trades. Is that a lot? And so this leads me to the third deadly mistake, which is poor risk management. See, a lot of traders are swinging for the fence. They're hoping for the next home run or next altcoin that's going to change their life. It's not going to be one trade that changes your life. It's your series of habits over a larger number of trades that matter. And you could be the best trader with the best strategy, but if you don't have enough shots left, you will not live to fight another day. And really speaking, you should be risking max 1% to 2% of your account for trades at the most, because this way you have at least 50 to 100 attempts before you actually blow up your account. Getting that consecutively would be quite difficult. And even the best traders in Wall Street, they actually measure their trading performance based on a quarterly review. And so it's actually very normal to have a rough week or even a rough month sometimes. But you don't want to be out of the game before your edge or your strategy plays out. And here's a fun fact for you. If you blow up 50% of your account, you actually have to gain 100% just to get your account back to break even. The next deadly mistake is you're overtrading. See, a lot of 9-to-5 jobs have conditioned us to clock in, clock out, and trade time for money. But trading is more about the quality of trades over the quantity of trades. Like for example, someone could place a handful of 3 to 4 high probability setups in a month and be substantially more profitable than someone who, say, scalps 100 trades a week. And actually one of my recent clients came to me and he was glued to the charts and spending 50 hours per week whilst managing a busy role as a real estate professional and with a family as well. By actually teaching my rule-based system based on market statistics, he was able to actually free up time, place trades, swing trades in Forex, indices, commodities, which actually suited his lifestyle as well. From teaching and speaking to hundreds of traders across the last couple of years in the community, I've noticed that a common cause of overtrading is FOMO and emotions. but also having a small account size. See, a lot of traders are trying to take their small $100, $200 account and flip it to $100,000, $1 million. But that's just not realistic. What's more important, I think, is to focus on being consistent with a small account. And then once you're profitable, there's actually ways to access and scale to higher capital. And remember, if you miss a trade, it's okay. There's always another trade for another day. And patience really does pay in the markets. And the more you chase the market, the more the market just runs away from you. A lot of traders try to piece things one by one by watching random videos and tutorials. And I myself did that, but it wasn't particularly useful. But the final deadly mistake is everybody pays. Number one, by paying the market directly, buy losses. And perhaps that's not the kind of donation that you want to make. And number two is by learning from mentors and actually being coached so you avoid those mistakes and accelerate your learning curve. And the reality is anybody that's reached a high level in anything, whether it's trading, basketball, has had to actually be coached for that. And in my own situation, 5-7 years ago, I made hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars at fortune with trading. But I had no real system or strategy, which led to losses. And eventually, by taking a large chunk of that and then investing in my education, I was able to reach the next level. It's funny because people are prepared to go to university and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for a degree, which is pretty much redundant in this day and age. But when it comes to business or trading, people treat it very casually and not like a business. I learned trading by a bit of backtesting, trial and error, which led to some progress, but then I faced some bottlenecks. But really to get to the next level, I had to find top traders like Roman, as mentioned earlier. But also I learned from some top traders that worked in hedge funds as well. And one of them actually said to me, Kieran, how much is not knowing what you don't know costing you? And that is something that I still think about to this very day. Because in trading, there really is an ignorance tax. Because not only do you lose more money, you also lose more time as well. And if you're ready to trade profitably without sacrificing time for what really matters, check out my previous video in which I cover common mistakes that traders make to drain their profits.